Welcome everyone to the valley of the town of Lescun in southern France. This is where you can restock, wash and camp before continuing along the border between France and Spain like I did. Although it was the middle of June, I hardly met anyone in this forest. And so, I could get used to the freezing water for as long as I wanted. Believe me, the water was so cold that I couldn't find my balls for an hour after the bath. And to add to the extremes, the ascent to the lake was a complete sauna. Several locals I've met in the recent days have said that they don't remember being so hot in here in mid-June. When I set up my tent completely soaked, I had to sit outside for a long time and wait for my clothes to dry. However, I could sit all night in this spectacular scenery. Just look around. Isn't it beautiful? You might be thinking that there was no point in pitching a tent in such hot and still weather. But I was glad I did. At night, there was a storm that kept me awake for several hours. But as it happens, there's always a calm after a storm. And this morning, it sounded like nature did not even want to wake up. The marmots were hiding in their holes. The hikers had not yet reached this altitude. So I felt like I was all alone in the world. And it is precisely for this feeling that I like to go to nature the most. On my way from the lake to the top of the ridge, I came across a logged cottage, which I later learned served the shepherds whose flocks spend the summer in the mountains. You will find a well near the cottage, and if I can give you one piece of advice to stick to in the mountains, always top up your water supply when possible, because you never know when you'll hit another stream. This advice does not seem to be so acute in these green mountains, but one day we will look together in places where even wells marked on maps are just wishful thinking. From the top of the green ridge, you will have a view not only of the entire trail leading into the valley, but also of the peaks that you will encounter in the following days on your way through the Pyrenees. And the observant eye does not miss the peak to the top of which I climbed in the previous episode of this series. Can you see it on the horizon? I arrived at Ibón de Acherito late in the afternoon. The shepherdess, Morgan, whom I managed to get to know quickly, as well as her dogs, was calling her sheep home right at that moment. I had never seen anything so stunning before, so I asked Morgan if I could record her entire work evening. Morgan spends the whole summer with 250 sheep. Together with the owner of the farm, Clémence, they have to milk all the sheep in the evening and in the morning as well. Morgan then uses part of the milk to make cheese during the day, while Clémence takes the milk to sell in the village every morning.
Shut your mouth, I've got something to say. Not only you've been betrayed in this season, I've got so many miles to walk away. It's part of my crimes, my how to be a writer.
The night with the sheep was calm and quiet. I slept in a hut where several tourists can sleep completely free of charge. But don't expect any luxury. And if you want to sleep here, come early, because it's first come, first served. When I left the hut, it was long past the morning milking. Clémence had already left with the milk, and Morgan was about to send the sheep out to pasture. I watched the flock of sheep go up the mountains, and I could not believe how fast it was. Morgan told me that on these hot days, they look for the coolest place high in the mountains, and that they sometimes manage to find the remnants of snow on the northern slopes. I thanked Morgan for the wonderful experience and set off for the mountains like the sheep. When I reached the Spanish border again, I had a wonderful view in all directions. I could see almost the entire trail of the last 2 days in one glance. It seemed so easy and comfortable from above. And actually, it was. But to me, it was also so much more. To me, it was a taste of the original beauty of the Pyrenees in all its friendliness and purity. And with these thoughts, I set off towards refuge dále. But more on that later. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to support production of more videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time.